That song always takes me back to a happy place. It's Sister Hazel, All For You. SuperTalk Mississippi Mornings with Richard Cross. I'm Scott Sands filling in for Richard this week. He is on spring break vacation. I appreciate you letting me sit in. You can find me on X at Scott Sands Media. And I'm proud to say I was one of the first people anywhere to play that song when it came out. I was at the radio station I worked for in Gulfport, Mississippi, and that's when Ken Block and I first met, lead singer of the band,
That's right.
Sister Hazel. They're returning to the Gulf Coast, playing the Crawfish Music Festival in Biloxi on April 27th. Ken, since then, you and I have taken like a dozen cruises together, which sounds much more romantic than it is. I've followed you around the country like a groupie, and consider you a friend. It's great to have you on the show.
It's good to see you again, Scott. All is well?
All is well, and I look forward to seeing you guys next time you're in my area. I'd love to be down there for the Crawfish Music Festival. And congratulations, I heard you talking off the air with Lance about another successful Lyrics for Life event. It's one of the things I love about you, about Sister Hazel, is that, I mean, you keep putting out great music and amazing concerts, but you also give back to the community, too.
Well, there's no doubt. I mean, my mom used to say, well, you got your platform, now what you want to do with it, you know? And so I think we've all always felt like if our vehicle could call attention to worthy causes, that was a really good use of that space that we were able to be grateful enough to have, you know, at all. And I lost my little brother to cancer when I was just a teenager. It was awful, as you can imagine. And when we finally got the opportunity, we started doing stuff. And this year, we brought our old buddy Edwin McCain in, and we brought Rick Springfield from back in the day. And we had a big old event down here in Gainesville, and we raised about $800,000. And we're well over the $6 million mark now, raising money for cancer. And we've taken the cancer that my brother had, the T-cell lymphoma, from about 20 to 30% success rate, survival rate to over 90%. So we're feeling really good about the work we're doing.
That's absolutely amazing. And the amount of money that you're able to raise for this event and other things that you do for charity grows every year. I mean, we're what now, almost 30 years after All For You, and you're continuing to put out music, and your fan base continues to grow. You've got such a loyal fan base, the Hazelnuts.
Yeah, the Hazelnuts, man, they've been allowing our army to march for quite some time. You know, Scott, we're one of those bands that you know well that we can strip it down. We have sort of we're from the South, but we grew up listening to all kinds of different music. We're from Gainesville, Florida, home of Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, Skinner, the Allman Brothers, Molly Hatchet, 30th Space. All those bands kind of came out of, Jacksonville, about 60, 70 miles away. We're one of those few bands that has opened up for the Foo Fighters, the Allman Brothers, and played the Grand Ole Opry 12 times. So it's very cool for me, a guy that likes that kind of diversity. I think you're kind of the same way. You grew up, if it was a good song, it was a good song. It didn't matter what genre it sort of fell into. And our fans give us the leeway to kind of lean this way or lean that way. But it always, when you get 5 of us behind our instruments, it sounds like Sister Hazel. So that's kind of a cool thing.
As you mentioned, you're from Gainesville. Everybody listening on SuperTalk Mississippi now knows that we've got a Florida Gator and Alabama Crimson Tide fan.
We do.
The people who are Ole Miss and State and Southern Miss fans aren't real happy right now.
I'll tell you, man, our basketball team looks good this year, man. We came in there to Tuscaloosa, and I got good friends. We grew up playing all those cities and got good friends in all those towns, but we haven't been this good in a while, and it's good to see the basketball team get back on track.
One of the things that I love from knowing you as long as I have is how we've grown up a little bit. I mean, you've been to my after parties at shows, and things got a little outrageous in the early days.
Sure.
And
we colored outside the lines a little bit. Yeah.
Right. And then years later, Tara and I are bringing our son on the tour bus to say hello. And whenever I see you, we're talking about family these days, and the party days are behind us.
Yeah, man, we all grew up together. We did not miss many parties. That is for sure. We've experienced both sides of this thing. And now sometimes people come back, now my kids are a little older. They're almost college age or in
Right.
college.
And
But
man, I love that, that
Ryan
you're
still has kids under 6. Ryan still has kids under 6 years old. So it's like
I love
romper
that.
room. You come backstage now.
Right. And you're writing songs with your daughter, which is fantastic.
Yeah, I wrote a song with my daughter that made this new record. People really like the song. It was about when she was getting ready to move out um, uh, to go to college, and I was, lamenting the fact that those days are kind of over that of them being little kids. And a song's called "All Goes By So Fast," and it really came out well. And she's a clever girl, and just she actually announce me on stage the other night at our event. And I was thinking. And I just couldn't have imagined that. And all 3 of my kids are way better than I ever was. And that's all you really want for your kids, right? At the end of the day.
We're talking to Ken Block, lead singer of Sister Hazel. They're playing the Crawfish Music Festival in Biloxi on April 27th. You're still putting out new music, and the fans eat it up. But the music industry has changed so much. You're still able to sell physical CDs when you're on the road at your shows, and the streaming industry has just revolutionized the way music is distributed and how we consume it.
Yeah, I mean, I really think in order to we do keep making new music. We do put out CDs. We still put stuff on vinyl again now. People are buying vinyl again. Who'd have thought it, right, Scott? But it's really become an important sort of a lane of consumers that are taking in music now. But streaming changed everything quite a bit. And for us, it's always been about the live show and that connection. So it's always been about getting bodies in seats or people on their feet and getting them into the room so that we have a shared experience. And, that hasn't changed for us. We just try to get people to come out and go, that was time and money well spent. We had a great time, and I'm sure we're going to do that in Biloxi.
I still love buying vinyl. I bought your last couple of records on vinyl. I just bought Edwin's record on vinyl. I have nothing to play it on, but I like having the actual. I've got to find a turntable somewhere and set that up.
Even so, there's something about our generation. Guys our age, we're the only people that have ever lived on this planet or ever will that had an analog childhood and a digital adulthood. That'll never happen to any other human beings that ever walked the planet. But that, I mean, we all remember, people our age all remember having our first album and staring at them and reading the label. I mean, the liner notes, looking at the pictures and imagining. Yes. Yeah. So I understand why that medium sort of came back as tangible product, and it does sound different when you play them on. You need to go get yourself a turntable. It'll drop that needle, man. It'll bring back all the feels.
It does. It does sound better, in my opinion. And I'm not an audiophile by any means. The show you're doing on the 27th in Biloxi, you're with Everclear and Bret Michaels. That's quite a lineup.
Yeah, that is quite a lineup, man. We know those Everclear guys real well. We've done a bunch of shows with them over the years, and I like those guys a lot. We've had some shared history, but I've never actually played with Bret Michaels, which as a guy who's like you, who's been doing this as long as I have, I don't get a lot of firsts anymore. So I'm really looking forward to the fact that we get to kind of meet him and hang out a little bit. But I mean, we go all the way back to CPR Fest stuff in Biloxi.
Right.
So we're looking forward to getting down there, and we'll be relaxed. We got a lot of friends that come out, and it's just going to be a good time.
I saw Bret last summer, and he still brings out the girls. The ladies our age still love Bret Michaels. The night before at the Crawfish Music Fest, it's Marcy Playground, Puddle of Mud, Hinder, and our friend Fred Cowboy Mouth playing the night before you guys.
Oh yeah, man! Fred is one of a kind, man. They broke the mold with that guy. He is a legend, and certainly in the Louisiana, Mississippi area, for sure.
Crawfish Music Festival, April 26th, 27th in Biloxi. Quickly, we're out of time, but when's the next album coming out?
We just put this one out about a month and a half ago, so we're already working on a new one. And yeah, man, we don't stop for very long. We still do 100+ shows a year, Scott. So we're still
Right.
at it.
It's amazing. I must have missed the last one. The last one I bought was Sand Sea and Crash Debris. So I got to get the new one. I missed that one.
Yeah, man. Well, today we keeps up coming out. Good to see you too, Scott.
Thanks for coming
All the best. Love you too. Take care.
Mornings with Richard Cross. I'm Scott Sands in SuperTalk, Mississippi.